Next text coming in. How is this all going to affect our children now and in the long term? I guess it just depends on the situation within the home, Doc?
It absolutely does. You know, younger children, it's not going to have any major long-term effect as long as they're looked after and they're cared. In fact, they might look back on it as being a very positive time because they've had more time with their parents at home, hopefully doing things together. Clearly for older children, perhaps if they're coming up to graduation or some significant, sort of academic or social events like that they may be missing, they're going to regret that. But I guess the important thing is that they understand that by doing what they're doing now, they're helping everybody and they're helping maybe their grandparents in particular.
Yeah, good point. Looking at the upside of this. Okay, the next one is, how can I cope with being stuck inside with my family all the time? I love them, but we have a small apartment. I think that's really the challenge. You talk about people in New York City. It's not like they can go play in a backyard. And many people in this area are like that too.
I think that's right. It's a common problem. And I think you need to try and give yourself some space, whether it's space within the room, literally. I mean, I've heard of people actually putting up temporary walls, using sheets and things so they can have some privacy in small apartments. But the real issue here is to try and get outside and go for a walk, give yourself a bit of physical separation and keep physically separated from everyone else. And not to get on top of each other as much as you can. If you're starting to have an argument, remember it's not a good time to do that in a small space where you can't escape. Try and defer it, try and play things down a bit, and particularly don't argue in front of the kids.
Yeah, stress is normal in the scenarios that we're all in, so recognize that and try to avoid it. Speaking of stress, this one I think we're all kind of dialed in. People going to the grocery store. You got to shop for food. This person says, I almost pass out from anxiety. How do I stop this?
So I think the key here is plan your shopping. So you know what you've got to buy. Make yourself a list beforehand. Know that you're going to go to certain parts of the shop. Make sure that you're wearing a mask. Make sure that as you go around the shop, you keep 6 feet away from people. The shops and grocers are doing a phenomenal job at the moment of really keeping people separate. Look for the signs on the floor as to where you can stand. Make sure you keep your 6 foot all the time. Most shops, again, have plastic barriers between you and the cashiers. So I think you can do this perfectly safely, but plan it and just take it slowly.
Yeah, maybe the earlier in the day you go, first when it opens or when there's least amount of people and maybe a little bit less stress. Okay, next one coming in for Dr. Yellowlees. I know my employees are stressed. How can I help lessen it? What type of leadership advice do you have?
One of the things I've been saying to all of our staff here at UC Davis is to go to YouTube and download a video called The Science of Happiness. This is a fabulous 5-minute video that's been viewed millions of times. And what it suggests is that you actually think about someone really important in your life. You write them a letter or an email. You tell them why they've been important to you, why you love them, why they've influenced your life. And then you send that email or that letter to them. And then you phone them up and have a chat about it. So you actually tell people how you feel. You're grateful to them. And we know that gratitude actually leads to happiness. There's a ton of scientific research on this. So get all your employees to try that out, and also all the viewers here to try it out. Certainly that's what we've been doing at UC Davis. And I think, using gratitude in a scientific way to improve our sense of happiness, our sense of goodness is really important.
That's good tips, good advice on that. With most people, which leads to our next text, most people who are stressed, I know if it's me, I'm going to eat garbage. I'm going to eat stuff that's horrible for me. I don't think about when I'm ultra stressed that I'm going to have a delicious salad. What about eating healthy?
You're absolutely right. Well, that's why it's called comfort eating, hey? So look, we've all got to try and avoid the comfort eating. I mean, it's difficult to do so because inevitably we're going to bust occasionally. I guess the issue is don't give yourself too hard a time on that. Don't weigh yourself too regularly. Maybe weigh yourself once a week. And when you get out, do the exercise. The alternative, of course, is to do exercises inside and online. There are all sorts of fitness studios and personal trainers and various other people, who are going online. I'm just going to wave because my mic's got...
Hey, Look who's not paying their power bill. All right, UC Davis.
You have to blame UC Davis, unfortunately.
Well, a little bit of levity here in the midst of stress. All right, we'll have more questions for Dr. Yellowlees just ahead.